Thank you so much for keeping it on Morning at NTV as we do journey on midway the month of October 2024. I know that many of you are revising some of those plans that you had for the year, and in one of your revisions analysis you get to realize that the reason why you've not been able to attain a certain project X or a certain idea, bring it to life, is simply because you were limited in funding or finances for that matter. Well, here at Morning at NTV we have something exciting to discuss and talk about that I think will be most appealing to you in regards to supporting your ideas and your businesses, your entrepreneurship skills financially, so that you can be able to grow. Hence the discussion that we're having around supporting growth opportunities here in Uganda. I am Priscilla Regina Nalwoga. Now, of course, as many of you have been able to hear in one way or another through different corridors, both state and non-state corridors, the government of Uganda, in tandem with other partners, has launched the GROW project, a loan initiative to scale up women's enterprises across the country. And this is also in partnership with the World Bank that has been a contributor to the fund. Now, this is one of the many initiatives that government is actually using to address poverty, unemployment among Ugandans, although many have not yet seen the tangible successes. So what makes this GROW project quite unique and different in its nature from all the other funding projects that are under the government of Uganda? Well, here to speak to us about it in detail, give us a broader understanding of it and who could be the beneficiary and what would be the benefit to you, not just financially, but what are the other elements that could actually benefit you as someone who is growing a small-scale business. Well, a skills specialist for the GROW project under the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development is joining us for this conversation. Mr. Enock Mutambi, good morning to you.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
Very good. So we've been hearing about the GROW project since its inception and launch, and I know that you are doing continuous sensitization, but I know that nevertheless you have not reached the entire Uganda in regards to awareness. So allow me to go back to the basics to what is the GROW project about?
Thank you, Priscilla. GROW project is a project of Government of Uganda. It is implemented by Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development and the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development through Private Sector Foundation as an implementing entity. GROW project, as the name suggests, is about growing women enterprises. In full, it is generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises, but specifically what we are looking at is growing women enterprises. It focuses on micro and small enterprises. During design, we found out that there are many women entrepreneurs in Uganda, and actually Uganda is the best, is the leading in Africa and the Middle East. 40% of the enterprises in the country belong to women. However, the main challenge is that these enterprises, majority of them are micro, a few of them are small, but that's not the problem. The problem is that these enterprises never grow. They remain small forever, or they even decline as a result. So GROW project is about growing these enterprises. The objective of GROW is to provide entrepreneurial services that help these enterprises to grow from micro to small and from small to medium. In other words, the target for GROW project are micro and small enterprises. And how do we help them to grow to the next level? So we provide a number of services to the women entrepreneurs to enable them to grow to the next level.
Okay, all right. In that regard, then, it definitely sounds like it's not only finances that you cater to under the GROW project. There are other elements that you have combined to make sure that you have a holistic enterprises that can grow the way you envision it to grow.
That's true.
Talk to us about this.
That's true. During design, we also found that women entrepreneurs, why they are not doing very well is that there are multiple challenges that face them. It's not only about money, it's about the shortage of access to finance, of course, that's one of them, but also there are other challenges, skills, the inadequate skills. You know, one of the things we take for granted is that when you enter a business, you simply run the business and you go. But there are certain skills that you require to run this business properly. So there is inadequate skills. There are also challenges related to infrastructure. Now, because of these multiple challenges, GROW project provides a package of services. Because giving women money alone is not enough. Giving them skills alone is not enough. So it brings a package of services together in a basket, and women come and pick the services that will help them to grow. So in this aspect, therefore, GROW provides one, access to finance. Here we have GROW loan, which many people have heard about, and this GROW loan is accessed through financial institutions. These are commercial banks, and we have already selected commercial banks. They are already giving loans, 5 of them. We are also going ahead to select microfinance institutions and circles to make sure that we reach far and wide. We need to reach everywhere. There are areas where commercial banks don't reach. So we want to reach those areas by using microfinance institutions as well as circles. The other aspect of financing is that there is a GROW grant. The GROW grant, first of all, the GROW loan targets about 30,000 entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs. Now, the GROW grant is something which is not that huge, but the targets about 1,000 to 3,000 women entrepreneurs. And who are those that access the GROW grant? The GROW grant is for those women entrepreneurs that shows something unique in their enterprises. There must be some level of innovation. There has to be a level of innovation, but also supports those women who are in the male-dominated sectors. During design, we also found that while women are doing well, many, there are sectors they have reserved for men. Construction, welding, motor garages. They are not there. But the key finding was that these enterprises are the most profitable. So while women are doing businesses and we are happy, they're in the less profitable areas. So the grant also supports women to go into those most profitable areas that have traditionally been left for men. Okay. The other service that, because I talked of a package of services, the other service that GROW provides is skilling. Because we normally take it for granted, as I mentioned earlier, that when you go into a business, you simply do business and you learn as you go. But there are many skills that are required, including the digital skills, including, the skilling, we have several areas. One, we have the general skilling, entrepreneurship skills. What is it that we need to understand to run a business better, whatever form of business? Two, we have technical skilling, that which goes to that specific business that you are doing. For example, you are in catering and I want to understand catering better. That is, or I'm in baking and I want to do baking better. That is another form of skilling that the project offers. Now, with this technical skilling, there are two types. One is where we'll provide it at an institution of learning or any other service provider. But the other form is what we call work-based learning, that I'm in baking, but I want to do baking better. So, and how can I do baking better? I can learn from another established baker. For instance, I am in Iksoro, I'm in Kabong, I'm doing my bread, I'm doing my baking. Now I want to learn baking better from, say, Hot Loaf or from Montake Bakery, and then the project arranges.
Placement.
Yes, apprenticeship, it arranges the placement. We get this lady, entrepreneur from Iksoro, from Kabong, and bring to this area and gets the skilling. In other words, does what we call learn by working.
Okay. All right. So you have talked about the male-dominated sectors, and you mentioned construction being one of them. Could you talk to us about the other sectors that you're focusing on in this particular round of GROW project?
In under GROW, we are focusing largely on all sectors of the economy, but mainly the growth sectors as identified by National Development Plan 3. And these include, of course, manufacturing, agriculture, ICT. We want to see many women in the area of ICT, the services. You know, the service sector is expanding and it is now the most dominant sector in the country. So we are focusing on that sector also. However, maybe the one I should mention is about the negative list. We have a negative list. We have those projects that we do not support. These are those that do, one, affect the environment. For example, if there is a woman who is doing business and the business is charcoal selling, for example, we don't support that one. So there is a negative list of projects that we cannot support, those that affect the environment, those that negatively affect society. We do not support those areas.
All right. So I am in manufacturing. I have a small business that is in line with manufacturing. What makes me more eligible to actually then benefit from the GROW project?
What makes you eligible to...
What's the criteria that I must, so what's the bar that I must meet in order to then benefit into those particular sectors that you want to improve women entrepreneurship in? There
are several criteria, depending on the services that you are looking for. If you are coming for the GROW loan, for example, there is a set of criteria for the GROW loan. Small enterprise, micro enterprise, that is one that we have mentioned. But you know, banks have several other issues that you are bankable. Of course, they look at your banking, how have you been operating. Of course, they look at your credit history. Of course, they look at one of the things that, for example, banks also require is security, collateral security for a number of enterprises, although banks are also giving out some loans to groups and using group guarantees. There are some of the banks that are doing that. Now that is the banking. But then you may also want skilling. Skilling, the first and most important thing is that, as you mentioned, I have a manufacturing factory, I have a small enterprise. That enterprise must be there. And then the other criteria is that, by the way, we do not, how would we define a woman-owned enterprise? That at least 51% of the shareholding should be owned by women. So if the enterprise is owned by men and women, 51% of the shareholding has to belong to women. That is another area. And then the other thing we do also, we extend, and for skilling, we do not focus on the entrepreneur alone. No. If you are into baking and you are an entrepreneur and it's not you who does the baking, but your workers do the baking, you can actually send the worker to come for the training. So under different components, under the different services that we offer, there are a variety of criteria that we do follow.
Okay, so I know that the project has been launched for a few months now, some elements of it. Begs the question, how much of it has been consumed so far with the different elements in terms of maybe percentages or even money-wise, how much has been consumed so far? And then does this project have a timeline?
First of all, the project has a timeline. It's a 5-year project and is ending 31st December of 2027. Okay. Meaning we have about 3 years and some 2 months to go. So where are we? Where we are is the GROW loan. The GROW loan is operational. 5 banks, so far as I mentioned, that are giving out the loans. These are Centenary Bank, Equity Bank, Post Bank, Finance Trust, and DFCU. We're in the process of getting a few additional banks on board, but also microfinance institutions and SACCOs. The 5 banks, where are they? What have they? Where are they? We in the month of August, we gave them the first tranche. Money is given to them in tranches. We give a tranche, they use, then they request for more. When it is exhausted, they give. Why we did this is because we learned from other projects of government where banks would get money and they would not give it out. So we give them in tranches.
They'd swap it with their own.
Yeah, so you use
products.
it, we give you more. Use it, give you more. Some of the banks have used the first tranche. So about a centenary, for example, in the month of September, they used crossed 8 billion. They gave it out to, now the total, in terms of total, we have so far given about 1,200 loans to women entrepreneurs and across the country. If I could talk about Centenary Bank, for example, they have given loans through 6 to 8 branches across the country. And of course, this is a drop in the ocean, but we still have 3 years to go.
Okay.
And we are sure we are going to use this money, which will turn into a revolving fund.
All right, so you're focusing on small businesses and micro businesses.
Yes.
Many of those may not have been interacting with banking systems in the first place, or they are using the SACCOs or the microfinances. So if they're not having accounts in those 5 banks, how then can they access the funding?
By the way, even if it is not under the project, to get a loan in the bank, you don't need to be banking in that bank. What banks normally do is that you can go to Centenary Bank, you seek for a loan, and then they will ask you for your bank history. You get the bank statement from another bank where you bank and bring it to Centenary, and they will give you a loan. But about many women not banking, and I think it's a bad culture. You do business every day, you get money, you mix the money with the personal money, and this is what Grow is coming to do. To do what? To say no. And in the training, it is one of the things we train them, financial literacy, that do not mix business money with personal money. So we encourage banking. Women who are doing business should actually bank their money. But more importantly, our focus is on what we call growth-oriented women entrepreneurs. Those who want to grow their enterprises to the next level. Not those that have reached somewhere and feel satisfied. Growth-oriented entrepreneurs, what do? They look for opportunities. And many of the opportunities are found in the banks. So you'll find that our target, actually, many of them are dealing with banks. But there are a few that may not be dealing with banks, and we encourage them to deal with banks.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. What are the interest negotiations that you're having with these banks?
For now, the interest rate is one of the lowest. I think the lowest in the market. It's 10.5% per annum. Which is very good really in the market. But apart from the interest rate of 10.5 per annum, there are also other services that we offer related to the cost of borrowing. One of the services is that they call it, I think, processing fees, and many of those fees that are associated with borrowing, the government pays those costs.
Okay.
The only associated costs that women entrepreneurs are required to pay, for example, valuation of the assets that are given as collateral. But those other costs are paid for by the government. Now, the other thing is that we want to encourage best practices. We encourage people to pay, to meet their obligations, commitment. A number of people, what they do is they borrow money, they pay anyhow, they keep. Now, if you borrow for 1 year, and you borrow 10 million for 1 year, you pay halfway, and you are meeting your obligations promptly. Government comes and says, thank you very much for being a loyal customer, for knowing your obligations. It means you're a growth-oriented entrepreneur and will benefit from you. The government will pay for you the 5% of the loan that you have acquired. Which means that when you go into effective interest rate, you will find actually this money is more or less free.
Wow, that's very, very attractive to the ear. Now, you talked about skills, and of course, there's need to sharpen skills here and there. They're all on the journey. These women are on entrepreneur journeys, but one is falling short in one skill, maybe financial literacy, another is falling short in bookkeeping and things like that. So talk to us about the direct skills that you are empowering these women with throughout these 5 years.
Yeah, we are looking at the technical skills, developing women's ability to do what they do, to do it better, technical skills in whatever businesses they are doing. We are also looking at the soft skills, because it is not the ability to do that is more important. It's very, very important. But there are also other things that help people to do. Issues of behavior, issues of attitude, issues of communication, issues of networking. All that is very, very important. And how do we give these skills? As I mentioned earlier, one is through the general course, which I mentioned earlier, it will comprise of issues like financial literacy. How do you ensure that your money you know how to manage money? Because managing the money is another issue. I remember when we were in school, the first week of the term, some people would never go to
pocket
class
money
because they have a lot of pocket money. Until they have spent all of it, that's when they go to class. So even entrepreneurs, some of them don't know how to manage money.
Practice. Do you put your money back into the business to grow it, or do you milk the business?
You milk the business.
Meet your other
there is a fundraising, a wedding function, and you are spending the business money. So managing money is one of the issues, one of the key skills that we need. The other key skill, marketing. You know, if we produce products and cannot be able to market them, then we are out of business.
Right.
Marketing skill. The other skill, digital skills. People will tell you, you know, for us we cannot handle computers. The world is changing. You either comply or you lose out. Digital skills, how to use a mobile phone. The smartphones that we hold every day, these are very important assets that can be used in our businesses. So there will be a component in the digital skilling, or using our mobile phone to make sure you can market your products globally instead of having that small shop, staying on that small shop. Those are some of the generic skills that we will be giving. When we come to the technical skills, then it will be in terms of whatever business you are doing. If you are into a restaurant, we will give you the restaurant skills. How do you manage a restaurant better? How do you keep the cleanliness? How do you manage the kitchen? How do you manage your waiters and waitresses? How do you make sure that those skills will be given? Depending on the enterprise. But more importantly, the other modality of skilling is the mentorship, and this is key. You get they are established business people who can mentor.
That are already in the large scale.
They are already in the medium scale. They are already in the large scale. They have the best practices of doing business, of record keeping. They have the best practices. So we organize these in the micro and small enterprises and attach them to those that are in the know, that are established, so that they can be mentored. This mentorship can be in form of, actually it might be, let's say, 1 hour, 2 hours meeting in a week, in a month. But we make sure that we link them and they are mentored to make sure that they do better, they learn the best practices. Many times in skilling is that people will tell you they know. And by the way, they know. And
that could simply be translated as they have the information, but they cannot translate it into the work that they are doing or the businesses they're doing.
Yes. And there are those who actually don't know also and think they know. That's another bigger category that is. So we look at all these and we do needs assessments to find what are the needs of these women. What is it that X needs, Y needs to be able to provide the skilling services better.
All right. Then it begs the question, as much as it sounds good to the ears, and you are working within a 5-year span of time, you have 3.5 to go. It begs the question, what makes the GROW project a bit more unique and different from the other government projects that we have seen coming in, promising, milk and honey, but then somewhere down the road, especially to the actual beneficiaries, there's not many stories to tell.
What makes it unique, first of all, I mentioned it provides a package of services. In order to thrive, in order to grow, you need skills, you need finance, but also, even when you have the skills and finance, you may not have the necessary infrastructure to take you.
Right. And
we also provide infrastructure. By the way, one of the services that we provide a basic shared infrastructure for the business women. So the fact that it provides a package of services, it makes it unique. Secondly, the target. Our target, in a way, is unique. What are we targeting? Our target, we've classified, we've called it the missing middle. The missing middle woman. And who is the missing middle woman? The missing middle woman is that woman entrepreneur who needs about 50 million, 100 million to grow the enterprise. Government has a number of programs, like Emyoga. It has programs like parish development model. Parish development model gives up to about 1 million. And there is a special package for women. There is a quota for women, which is very, very good. A number of them use this money and grow. You get 1 million, you grow. The other day we were told there is a lady in Kisoro who used 1 million, I think, in mushrooms, and now is generating about 20 million. What does it mean? That lady who now generates 20 million, in terms of support, does not need 1 million because has grown beyond the 1 million. It means she needs about 70 million, 50 million. But where do you get the 50 million? When you go to PDM, you are too large for PDM. When you go to Emyoga, you are too large for the Emyoga. So you remain there hanging. When you go to commercial banks, there are so many stories. The interest rate, 20%, etc. Now, where should this woman go? When they go to, there is another program of government called Invite. They will give 500 million, 1 billion plus. There is Uganda Development Bank. They will give you 600 million and above. So when they go to those initiatives, they are told, no, for you are too small. So they go this side, they are told they are too small. They go the other side, they are told they are too big. So where should they go?
They are the missing middle.
They are the missing middle. And that is our target, the missing middle. Many programs, NGOs, government, there are many programs that target startups. our program is not targeting startups. Our program is targeting those who have already started. You are somewhere, and all you need is a push to go to the next level. So in that way, our program, we feel it is bringing something new onto the market, targeting the people who have been in a way left out, and yet these are the people who show potential for growth, because they have utilized this Myoga, PDM, and they are growing, and they need to grow further.
All right. Okay, so then it begs the question, this missing middle, how do they get involved in the GROW project? Where do they get to interact with it and sign up to be beneficiaries for the GROW project?
Yeah, thank you for that question. Where do they go? As I mentioned, the package of services, each service has where you go. For the GROW loan, you don't need to go to any government official. For now, the 5 banks I've mentioned, simply walk in. Simply walk in, say you need a loan, and you need the GROW loan. These banks have already even printed out information about this loan and what they do. They give you all the requirements for accessing this loan. So you simply need a walk-in. Maybe you can only come to a government official if you feel maybe you have not been fairly treated. That is the only time you can come to government. For skilling services, where do you go? One, you can come to the project, you apply, but also we have what we call focal point persons in all the districts and cities of Uganda.
Okay.
Actually, districts, cities, and municipalities, they are focal point persons. Districts, cities, and municipalities have appointed who is the focal point person in Mbare, and Mbare has a focal person. You go to the focal person, you will get all the information on the skilling services.
Okay. All right, your closing remarks and call to action, Mr. Mutambi.
In closing remarks, I would like to ask Ugandans to embrace this project. I know there are very many issues. Others want the project to go outside its scope, but this is the scope that I've mentioned. Those that are within this scope, please, this is an opportunity that you should not miss. Where you have any questions, you simply walk in to the focal point person at the district level. You will get the information that you require. But we also have a very interactive website. Please, if you cannot go physically to any office, please use the website. We would want to see that after these 5 years, you are really different. But the project also has a sustainability plan, which is so amazing. And okay. I see GROW really is going to grow women entrepreneurs and will grow this country. All right, Mr. Mutambi, the next time you and I have a conversation, you will have to come with a woman who will be telling her own testimony as a beneficiary of the GROW project to encourage the others. 3.5 years to go, and you too can be a beneficiary if you find yourself in the missing middle. That brings us to the end of this conversation. We're going to be taking a short breather, but we return shortly with more conversations. Do stay with us.